Hey guys, it's Casey. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be working with this crushed shell that I got at Walmart. Some oyster shells. You can get these on Amazon. Since I live inland and I can't really get to the ocean, I like to use these oyster shells instead of crushed shell you would get at the beach. I'm also using a 2-part Bond Crafter epoxy resin. I've got 6 ounces mixed up. And I'm going to pour just a little bit off, maybe 1.5 ounces off into another cup. I'm going to pour in a scoop of these oyster shells, and I'm going to pour in some of this crushed shell from Walmart, and then I'm going to top it off with some more UV resin. Okay, once I get that all mixed together here, you want to mix it really good, incorporate the two. You're going to have this really pretty mixture of shells. I didn't want to do them all in like the crushed oyster shell, which I love the look of the oyster shell and the resin. I just do, because it is like a crushed shell you would get at the beach. I recommend the Mana brand. I've ordered another brand and it's a lot powdery. But I've got it too. I'm going to attempt using it here soon. But I really like the Mana brand. So I'm going to put in my shells into my snail mold, and I'm just going to squish it around. I got this mold on Amazon, relatively cheap. I want to say I paid $10 for him. And I'm going to keep adding this shell mixture and manipulating it around in the mold. I don't have enough here to fill it up all the way, I don't think. I've got most of it here, but I may have to mix up just a tad bit more just to fill him up. But we're going to work all that shell down into the sides and make sure everything's incorporated well. And your mixture needs to be pretty even. You don't want to flood it in resin. You don't want a lot of resin floating, or else you're going to have a big layer of resin at the base and no shell, because your shell's going to sink. So we're going to go ahead and pour some more resin off into that cup, some more of the crushed shells, and some more of the oyster shell. And a little bit more resin. Like I said, you want to keep it pretty close, pretty 50-50 with the resin and the shells. You want a thick mixture. It needs to be gloopy like a paste. And then you just want to scoop it off into the mold. Your resin is going to be your glue. It's what's going to hold everything in place. So everything needs to be coated nicely. So make sure you mix it really well. And then we're just going to get all of this out of here and into our mold. And once we get him all filled up, we're going to put him to the side and let him set for 24 hours before we demold. He's pretty full right now. I still see some open space. I think I'm going to have to mix up just a little bit more. I didn't want to over mix. So we're going to take and mix up a little bit more. Just enough to fill him up. And like I said, I mixed up 6 ounces of resin. And this is a relatively large mold. So it would have held a lot more resin. So you got about 50-50 with the shells and the resin. So I say it would hold 12 ounces minimum. So we're going to fill him up the rest of the way. Make sure there's nothing protruding out the sides. I mixed up just enough to have perfect base. All of those shells look so pretty together. They just do. I love the mix of the two together. It looks so beachy, so sandy. And that's another thing. I love to use these for a sandy beach. The oyster shell. If I'm doing any resin art, that oyster shell just goes so far. It works for the sand area. It works for the crushed shells, for the ocean floor. It looks beautiful. And you can also get sand and put sand with it, and it looks even more beautiful. You know, the crushed shells are just a must-have if you live away from the ocean. You can't get to the ocean. These are just a must-have for resin art. I really recommend them. I found out by accident when I was looking for crushed shells that these worked. I ordered them, and I was hoping that they would work, and they did. They were just beautiful in resin. It's a chicken feed. It's what it is. It's an oyster shell. It's a chicken feed. But it works magnificent in resin. Okay, back to the project. Okay, on demold, I broke off one of his little eyes. Those are so hard to demold and so hard to get out. I didn't spray no alcohol down in there, and his eye broke off. So, other than that, he is absolutely stunning, guys. I love him. He's just so beautiful. We're going to take some UV resin and glue that back together. But, look at him. Isn't he gorgeous? He's going to make a beautiful succulent pot. So, let's get this eye glued back on here, guys. When I was recording, I didn't record me gluing the piece back on, but I did UV resin it with some Bond Crafter UV resin, and there he is, all in his beauty. He's gorgeous. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will see you next time. You have a blessed day.